as far as this game today goes, I really liked our second half, and our first half was really not acceptable for what our standards are and what our capabilities are. We just we were trading shots, and we were playing it like a Rucker Pro League game instead of a serious NBA game that really meant something. And so I was proud of the way we adjusted our attitude in the second half. Gave up 43 points instead of 73 or whatever it was, and that's an important step in the right direction. As for the playoffs, we're very, very pleased to be back in, and this is a new beginning, and we're unsure who we're going to play yet. It's going to be either New York or Milwaukee. Either opponent will be great competition, hell of a challenge, great venues to play at, and great experience for us. But we've worked hard. We've played extremely hard this year to put ourselves in this position, and we're looking forward to the next step.
Rick, what did making the playoffs mean to this group? What was the celebration like just now in the locker room?
Just you have to dial up social media and find out.
You guys scored a bunch in this game, obviously.
Well, let me ask you a question. We're happy to be in, but our work's just begun. That's the way we're going to look at this. And so, just getting to the playoffs is not the goal. The goal is a championship, and so getting to the playoffs is certainly one step toward the goal. But we've got to think big. We've got to have big aspirations, and we've got to have high standards. And so that's what we're going to take into this. We'll find out who we're going to play.
What stood out to you about your team's offensive execution in this game?
Well, our offense is always going to be better when we're getting stops. I mean, when we're giving up 43 points and a half, our production's going to be even more efficient than when we're giving up 73. And so, I talked before the game about it. We've worked so hard defensively that we can't get into these situations where just because we build up a 12 or 14 or 15 point lead, we get loose. And that's what happened in the first half. And look, the playoffs, that just is a non-entity. That kind of thing just cannot happen. Otherwise, you get your ass beat.
Without knowing your opponent and not being able to know until today, have you guys been able to do any sort of playoff prep yet at all as a staff, or does that start now?
Yeah, I mean, we're preparing for everything.
Myles obviously goes for 31. I think he had 11 of your first 15. I'm just what it means just to have your veterans step up as much as you on both ends.
I loved Myles' approach from a physical standpoint, and the fact that he got 12 rebounds. Is it 12? That's the most important thing. I know Myles can score. Let's not make this about Myles' scoring. Let's make it about his effort on the boards. This is one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the league. Okay, but our focus has got to be on the physical things that are necessary to win playoff games.
What on the flip side of it, Pascal as well. I mean, obviously both of them were able to dominate in the middle. But what did you like about just each of their games? I know you don't want to make it too much about scoring, but what did you like about how each of those guys just approached the job there?
Pascal, his running early in the game, he put a lot of pressure on the rim with rim runs, and did a great job with early decisions in the post. And look, when we get it over quick and can create problems, good things happen for us offensively. Better things happen when we get stops.
I guess to dig a little bit deeper in that, I mean, you mentioned attitude getting better. But what else just stood out to you just about the way you guys dug in defensively? What did you just like about how you just handled things on that end in the second half?
Well, look, we're still young, and I'm not going to use the young excuse card. We should be at a point here where we're becoming a young veteran team, and so we shouldn't have to have these conversations at halftime of a game like today. But it's just another reminder that maturity is something that is a constant effort. It just doesn't. You don't just all of a sudden get there. It's bad habits have a very strong memory, and so we've got to really train ourselves to eliminate those the best we can. And look, we've shown many times what we're capable of, And so that's got to be what we aspire to.
You mentioned just with the team not wanting to think about this as you've arrived someplace, but I guess what does this mean for this group on an organizational level? Just 2 years removed from being in a full rebuild. I mean, I think to go up 20
Look,
something
this
wins,
this
how big is
organization has been in the conference finals 8 times, in the NBA finals 1 time, and they've won 3 championships in the ABA. This is not an organization just happy to be in the playoffs. Okay, and if it is, I mean, those people should be thinking of it a different way. That's not what this is about. This is not, small market, lowered expectations. We can't have that. We can't have it.
Myles, before the season, you talked about wanting to be more a leader. After the last game, you talked about the maturity lacking in that Cavs game. What did it mean to you to both have the game you had to lead this team and to see the team step up to the moment and get the win?
It's always nice to hit shots, but more than anything, I'm just proud of this group. This goes way back to Nashville at the beginning of the season, what we talked about, just where we wanted to be at this time of the year. And it wasn't easy, it wasn't pretty, but we got to where we needed to go. All we asked for opportunity. Now it's our turn to make some noise.
What does it mean to you to be back in the playoffs with a chance
So
to
much,
keep
bro.
going?
So much, man. It's been a long 4 years. This time, in the past couple of years, we've been planning a vacation, something like that, just not even watching the playoffs. But this is when everybody, this is when it matters. This is when it counts the most. This is when, legends are made and, so on and so forth. I'm just excited for this group, guys like Ty who haven't necessarily been there before to actually experience what it's all about.
Ty, the question for him was back to the playoffs. First time for you. Can you take me through how you're feeling right now?
Just really excited. We all grow up big basketball fans, watching the playoffs and watching our favorite players have big moments. And, now for me to be able to get that opportunity, I'm just, really excited. And, I think as a group, that's been our goal the whole year. I think Myles alluded to it. It hasn't been the prettiest, but, we figured it out at the end of the day. And now these last 82 games really don't matter at all. It's about one game at a time. And, so we're really excited about that.
You were watching the game. It's the Bucks now. What do you think of that matchup for you guys, and what will be the keys to it?
It'll be fun. It's a really good team, and we've obviously had some battles this year, so excited to play against them. It's home for me, so I'm excited to be playing there. It's kind of storybook for me to kind of be playing at the crib, my first playoff series, so I'm excited for that, and just excited to compete.
Myles obviously scored, I think, 11 of the first 15. It seemed like obviously you guys ended up with 80 in the paint. We're trying to attack there. Just what worked out there from the beginning? You guys have obviously shown you could score on these guys all year, but what sort of opened up in the middle today?
We just had a solid game plan. I think that just we had to make them, play up to our level in a sense. And I feel like, me and him, we're very dynamic in the pick and roll. And if we're not going, he's going to find somebody else. I mean, the way that Atlanta plays, they load up and give up the corners a lot. And I think we were able to exploit that a lot this year. And then we also scored a lot of points in the paint. So it was just it boded well to our style of offense.
I think Rick was obviously not super thrilled about the defense in the first half. You guys come out and hold them to 44, I think, or am I right about that? 43 in the second half. Just what got that much better from one half to another on defense?
That was a message in the locker room. Just we have a golden opportunity here. Just don't pass it away. And I think that we, took those words and took to heart and executed.
Just Ty, how big was it to have him perform the way he did today? And just from your end, what just opened up in the middle of the floor in terms of what you guys were able to attack?
Yeah, this is a team we've seen. We played them in preseason too. So what is that? 5 times? Yeah. So every time we've played them, he's had big games just because of the way they guard the pick and roll and finding that pocket. He's really excelled there. So we knew that the pick and roll was something we wanted to really attack. Coming into today, and he just made the right reads. He was attacking the rim aggressively from the jump, obviously making shots from outside as well. So I think just a really big game for him, and I think we had a really good attention to detail coming into today and understanding the way that they defend. And, like I said, a good win for us. And, MT led the charge from the beginning of the game, and we just all followed his lead, and that got us going.
What just kind of on the defensive point, but obviously they cut it back to 64-64. I mean, just what did it mean for you guys to just kind of, put the pedal down at that point? I guess you went on a 13-0 run, just the degree to which you took it seriously once they come back.
Yeah, I think it's big for us. I think in a moment like today where there's, so much on the line and, we're really playing for something, I think that in that moment it's easy to get, caught up or, rattled in that moment and, things can go bad. But I thought we all did a good job of calming each other down and just understanding that we built that lead for a reason by playing the right way. So we just went back to, really playing the right way, getting the ball moving, getting stops. And I think that allowed us to get a big win.
Myles, what has the addition of Pascal done for you specifically in the front court? How has him and just his offense been able to open yourself up and open your game up?
A lot. The biggest thing is the rebounding. I think that he's someone who really wants to get in there and mix it up, and it makes my life easier when I'm boxing out the biggest threat and someone to come in there and grab it. Offensively, he is such a dynamic game. Down the low post, and it puts teams in a bind. Like if you double team him, we got 5 shooters out there. Someone's gonna make the right play. If you don't, he's gonna score. So. More than likely, the 5's gonna be guarding me. There's gonna be their rim protector, and my ability to space the floor just opens up, a lot of space for him to operate and the rest of the team. So he's definitely done wonders for me. I'm looking forward to his style of play into the playoffs because it definitely bodes well that a half court style of play, and he's someone else who can shoot and get out and run as well. So it was a great fit for us at a really crucial time.
And you've been in the playoffs before in this city. What is the message to the guys that haven't experienced that yet, and how can you kind of be a leader early on in the playoff run?
Just buckle up, man. It's fun. I mean, that's the one thing I'm trying to tell the guys that this is just the best time of year to hoop, man. Like, you're playing during the day. I mean, you're the only game on TV. Like, it's just it's what you do it for. But just possessions. I think the biggest thing is that it's a possession game. Every single possession matters. Some possession where you might BS around or lose the ball, or that can't happen in the playoffs because that can come to haunt you like in the fourth quarter. So definitely game possessions, game of runs, and just embrace the opportunity. Your whole family's going to be watching. Everybody from back home is going to be watching. He gets to go home and play. Like those are special moments.
Myles, a couple days ago, I think it was TJ who compared this game to a Game 7. What do you feel like the trajectory or the path that you guys have been on this season has done to prepare you for this moment today?
The in-season tournament definitely helped a lot. I think that was we got a lot of national exposure and a lot of playoff-like exposure around that time. I think the guy just being able to go to a different city and just hoop in front of a different crowd and get all the eyes on the organization, I think was dope. But I think that helped us. And then just we have an offense that's built, for this time of the year. And, playoffs, we all know each other's plays, but what makes us so dangerous is that we don't really run a lot of plays. We kind of just get out there and, let this guy create, and, coach just puts it out there, let us go out there and hoop.
Pascal only been here a few months, but what did it mean to this group to win today and have the opportunity to compete in the postseason?
No, it felt good. I think just being here, it was a point of emphasis with me coming in. Obviously, I've seen the team, the guys, they're hungry for it. So everyone wanted to, be a part of it, and it was just a good response for us to play the way we did tonight, or today. That's tonight, but get an opportunity to be in the postseason.
Qualities about this group remind you of the Raptors group you were with that was young and ascending and reaching the postseasons for the first time early in your career?
No, I mean, I think we have a lot of, young pieces. We got a lot of people that, for them, it's probably the first time, being in the playoffs. But, it's exciting. And I think at the end of the day, especially once it's your first time, it's like, what do you have to lose? Go out there, give everything you have, and have an opportunity to get that experience under your belt. And I think for me, just we have a couple of guys that's been there before, so just coming in and bringing that experience and again just being level-headed and just at the end of the day, that's what the playoffs is about. Just you gotta kind of forget about the regular season and just focus on it's gonna be a different game. Everything is under a microscope and it feels like you're not doing anything that the other team hasn't seen, and I mean, I remember my first playoff, and we had this huge booklet, of plays, and I think teams are prepared, so it's not like you're gonna come in and surprise people. So it's just about our energy, being together, and just continue to get better.
Every Pacers-Bucks game this season was before you were traded here. What stands out to you about what that series is going to look like for you guys?
No, I think it'll be great. Obviously, they've won a championship, really good team, and I think that for us it's just at the end of the day, whatever happened in the regular season don't matter. This is the playoffs, and it's going to be different. Obviously, I don't know. Did they have a new coach? I mean, I think. Not sure. I wasn't part of those games, but I just think that we can't look at it, with any kind of like history on everything that happened before. It's just new. This is the playoffs, it's a brand new season, and we got to attack it with a mindset of just continue to get better for us, improving on the things that we need to improve, and attention to details, and enjoy it, have fun, man. Like this is the best time of the year. I can't tell you how many times every time you have to stop planning your vacation now, like it's the worst thing ever. So like I think having the opportunity to be here, knowing that like you're playing for something, like that's something that I want to do in my career, and I think I was a little spoiled, my first years in Toronto, just being there all the time and feeling like it's something normal, but it's not. And I think we gotta be grateful for it, and not take it for granted, because it doesn't happen all the time.
How have you seen this group mature and grow in just the time you've been with them, and especially there's been a lot of big games over this stretch.
Right.
You've been sort of playing to get to this day for a while. How have you seen these guys grow with every one of the steps that it's taken?
Yeah, no, I think we're growing. I think we're getting better. And the guys are just learning every single day, and we continue to just improve. And I think one thing that I want to say is just like we not we don't get ourselves down. At the end of the day, like there's games where you feel like, oh, we could have won this or we could have done that. It hasn't stopped us from just coming in every single day, putting the work in, and the guys are just focused on that. And I think for me, like coming in, like that's something I want to bring. Like just that calmness into what we do, and knowing that like we can't panic when things are not going the way we want them to go, and just continue to focus on this and grind the game out. And because I told the guys, like, it doesn't matter how many points you win by anymore. Like at this point of the season, it's about getting the win, and doing everything that you need to do to get that.
Just kind of on that note, obviously you have a huge lead in the first quarter, and a lot of that disappears, and then you get it right back. I mean, what does it say for you guys? How you guys handled that? Also, how you stepped up defensively in the second half to go from giving up 70-something to 43.
Right. Yeah. No. I thought, which is something I really liked about our team tonight. Is just like even when they were making a run, it didn't feel like guys were kind of like rattled about it, or it was just like, yeah, like this basketball, make runs. We just kept focusing on doing what we do, and we were able to sustain their runs. But I just think that's the way we got to approach everything, because we've seen everything. We've seen us going up by a lot, and then winning by 2 against Miami, and then we've seen times where we're down, or we got back and won the game. So it doesn't really matter. It's just about like I said, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but just focusing on us, and just knowing that the game is going to be ups and downs, and we just got to stay level-headed through it all.
You and Myles obviously combined, I think, for 59 tonight. What works so well as far as just getting the ball in the middle of the floor and getting looks there, and what in particular impressed you about just the way he played the game as a veteran coming in a situation?
Yeah, no, I think we both knew how important this game was, and I think just from talking to our game plan was just to get to the paint, and I think that he's someone that can do that. I can do that, so we just try to do that as much as we can. And I mean, it didn't feel like he was missing anything. Myles, he just made everything. Had some big plays for us, like just momentum plays that are super important. He was blocking shots. That's what we're gonna need from him, every single night, and he's been doing that. Like just a good overall job from him, just to like be in and locked in and doing what's asked of him to do.
Pascal, for the guys who have not been in the playoffs, what are they going to learn really fast about the playoffs, talking about Tyrese and a number of other players?
I mean, I think it's just, like I said, I think like the most important thing is like I mean, guys gonna watch thousands of films on what we do, and I'm sure they're gonna know it. I mean, we can have some wrinkles or whatever, but it's just about like who's gonna play the hardest, at the end of the day, because we know each other at this point. It's not like you have another game against another team in a couple of days, like it's the same team. So I just think that's just that, and I think that the intensity obviously grows, and I think the hardest playing team is always going to give itself an opportunity to win the game. So
You guys have won, I think it's 9 of your last 13. Do you think you're playing your best basketball at this point? I mean, obviously you weren't here earlier, but in the time that you've been here, is this the best that this team has played?
I mean, I think we have amazing potential. I think that just the type of people that we are and the way that, you know, like we want to continue to play. We feel like, you know, like we're not where we want to be. We want to continue to improve it, continue to get better. And I think that, you know, obviously before I came in here, you know, this team is just like, you know, like best offensive team in the league. You know, I think one thing that we want to do is just be better defensively as a team and hold each other accountable for it. And the coaches have been doing awesome with that. Just making sure that we focus on that. And that's going to be another growth for us, you know, in the playoffs. Just knowing that, again, like it's not going to be about just scoring. It's going to be about, you know, how you can stop the other team. So we gotta do a good job on that. And I think the guys are ready, and we're excited for it.